Hey, ho, ho, Angelina County. Hey, just want to make another quick video. Things started pretty quick here on our home front here. So I wanted to make sure that I keep you informed of what's happening behind the scenes. So there is a little doubt, or there's no doubt that we're being transparent and we're trying to. Anyway, let me explain what's really going on. On the 3rd of this month, we filed and we got accepted. I don't know if you can see this or not. Anyway, we filed, opened the case, Tyler Lopez against the county of Angelina, against the jail, also against the district attorney's office, and all the other individuals who have been working for the jail. These subpoenas that are initially going to go out are only the ones that Mr. Lopez has identified, but this doesn't mean that the investigation where they have it at this point, there may be more subpoenas left and right. So we're not for sure about that, but I did want to let you know that we did get it filed. I think I posted it on my Facebook page, but the word don't get out too much. It's Angelina County, man. Nobody wants to get the info. If you can't get it out of Lufkin Daily News or KTL 89, KTL 89, or is it KTL? Yeah, whatever. KLT 9. Okay. If you can't get it on there, everybody thinks everything's cool or whatever. But there's a lot happening behind the scenes. And I'm trying to inform you of what's happening. Number one is that there is an investigation of going on now of illegal dumping. I'm sorry, guys. Illegal dumping in Angelina County, preferably the Lufkin area. There were hazardous materials that were not deemed to be distributed. They had to go through a hazmat system to where they were properly disposed of. And then the other thing is that wasn't done. The other thing is that they didn't dump it in the county dump because the dump wouldn't accept it. So they had to find ulterior motives or other means to find out how to get rid of this stuff. And apparently it's been washing up, or we've got evidence that shows where they have been doing it. We've also got people on state making statements. When they were employed there, that they knew that it was wrong. They knew, but one individual, I'm not going to mention his name, he said, there's a lot of stuff out there that shouldn't be out there. Let's put it that. I don't know how intense that is. I do not know what's the hazmat material. I do not know the actual dumping spots. However, I do know that there is an investigation going on this, and this puts our county commissioners on the spot. It'll make them come forward in a mode of transparency, something that we in Angelina County rarely get to see, is that our public officials being transparent. So what we've done is that we've gone outside of the county to get people to look at these cases and see if it's warranted. Basically, as we're learning, we can't trust the county government for truthful information. We can't be, our county officials will not go on any interviews or any press conference or do anything to keep the public informed. Matter of fact, I don't think that there's ever been a time, I think except for Judge Wright, I don't think anybody else has ever given an interview with local newspapers. Judge Wright denies this, that he knew about this, so it'll pan out and we'll see. However, that has been filed as well. In Tyler's case, the total filing fee, we got that paid, it's done. And then we actually have the number. CV 000079 is the actual case number. And they're in the process now of number one is that they want to assign him an attorney from the district court. And also they're going to start going into an investigation. His attorney will actually order an investigation into what's going on, and we'll start getting some answers from the state, not from the county, but from the state. Um, One concern that I have is that our Texas Rangers may be involved, or they may try to take over in the investigation. Now we all know that's an issue because the fact is that Terry Pitts' son, he's a highway patrol. I mean, he's a Texas Ranger. He's spearheading on all or everything goes through him. When there's investigations requested by the Texas Rangers, everything goes through him. As we've seen, very rarely do things get done. Very rarely do things get disclosed. And that's the hookup. I mean, you got somebody Texas Rangers, keep it hush hush. Now, I'm not no dummy, okay? Um, to have these people, they have to be on a payroll. They have to be able or willing to do this, not just as a favor for a friend. No, it's costing people money. So, how many people are involved in, I would say, illegal activity to cover up information? That we don't know. This is all going to come out in the investigation. This also is not the only civil lawsuit that will be filed. We have an adjacent one that Tyler's working on right now, and it's going to actually look at his defense. It's going to look at the reason why he's in jail for 2 years, the reason why he can't get a court date. Matter of fact, if you looked at the news today, KLTE 9, they're reporting that there were two women who were charged in the murder of an individual. These individuals, they were arrested in 2022. They got to go to trial in 22. So why does it take 2 years? This I don't know, but I guess hopefully we'll get some answers. Now, we've tried every which way or whatever to find out information for them to come clean, tell us what's going on, say, okay. One question that was asked, I think the question that all people ask is, it's been multiple times requested and they refuse to actually provide it. It's how many lawsuits do we have pending against the county? They will not release that information. It's been asked 3 or 4 different times. Mr. Wright's been on record saying, that's something you need to put in the Freedom of Information Act. That was done. It was denied. Mr. Kirby. So just asking the question, can you tell us how many lawsuits? No, we can't tell you. Well, I think that affects everything we do in Angelina County because it tells us how they're spending their money. So in other words, how much money do they have in reserve to pay for these lawsuits? Now, is anybody picking on Angelina County intentionally? No. Well, yeah, because they're one of the few counties that don't follow the law. They don't keep their citizens informed, and they do that on purpose. It's kind of like that thing where your daddy told you, don't ask, I won't tell. And what you don't know could end up hurting you in the long run because the fact is, guess who's going to have to freaking pay for it? We are. We already know in the case of Mr. Pitts that whenever he was going to go to trial, the county was going to pay for his defense. Now, that's wishy-washy area right there. However, the fact is the reason why that they were going to pay for his defense is because the insurance company that we have to rely on these matters to help us out, pay for lawsuits against county officials and whatnot, they declined it. They wouldn't support it because the fact is that it didn't meet their guidelines. And it was something they weren't going to insure because of the fact is that, what, the county says it was over the limit for the insurance. I don't care what it is. The fact is that they tried to get the insurance company to pay for his defense. And they said no. So where'd they go? Where's my wallet? So that's questionable. That's questionable above. everything's questionable in Angelina County. And it all comes back to the fact is that they will not tell you the truth. They refuse to provide information to the public. And an informed public is necessary to create a good community. Anything else is oppression, socialism, or communism. Now, I know people think that word or whatever, but, and are we, no. But in Angelina County, we're acting as if we were a communist state because the fact is they won't share information. They tell you lies, ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. And they will not go on record with anything. And that right there tells me a lot. For you and me, and this may be just me, but the fact of the matter is if I have a job to do and I find out that the law's being broken somehow, shape, form, or fashion, it's my duty as a citizen, first and foremost, to report that. Second of all, if I'm a county official, it doubles. I need to report that to keep from committing fraud onto the government or onto our citizens. But when you have a group of individuals who sit in a building in a meeting that is obviously rigged, and I'll tell you why. Because the fact is, when they're voting on motion, okay, they read through the motions real quick. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but anyway, I post videos on it. They go through about number 5, discusses blah, 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 blah. All in favor say, aye, everybody. Nobody asks a damn question. They don't, well, how's this affect this? How's it affect? No. Aye. Why? So they can get the hell out of there without people actually asking questions. They hate the fact that people can get up and talk. And if you see people up there that are actually talking or actually utilizing their rights to address their grievances, you don't even pay attention. They just sit there like, and they watch. They look at their watch and make sure it's time for you to sit the fuck down or sit down. Now, this may be that way everywhere in East Texas where we've grown up, and I know that especially in my area, in Jasper County, Hardin County, Jasper County, around Beaumont, around those areas or whatever, there are and still remain today this type of government on individuals. Now, where does it come from? I'll tell you where it comes from is the fact is that we were at one point in time, we were under Napoleonic law, which that's where we have our blue laws, which, in other words, you can't buy beer after, you have to wait till 12 o'clock on Sunday to buy beer. Those are passed on down from Napoleon, which was a dictator. You also had, at the time, you had the Spanish citizens here that were following Spanish law, and they didn't have to be transparent. So somehow we've encompassed that, and this is how we govern. Somehow, somewhere down our line, somebody's got the fact that this is the way we do it. Instead of looking up the real way you're supposed to do it. That's a problem. Because if you don't know something, don't be too prideful to go and say, oh, yeah, I looked that up. I had to look that up. That was a good question. I had to look that up. Or if somebody gets a question in a meeting or whatever, so you know what? To be honest with you, I don't know. And I don't want to misquote. Guess what? Let me go back. I'll research it. And I'll get back to you and actually call them back. This is why Angelina County is so angry at our government. It's not because of the shenanigans they pull. Well, part of it is, but the biggest part is the fact is that they will not share information that's pivotal to people who are living here, work here, go to school here. And they need to be able to produce this information because parents or anybody can see what they're getting themselves into when they purchase a property here. They can see how the school system's pretty good. They can see how the school system's run. Lufkin School, they just had an open house for freshmen, and it was awesome. And our schools go out of the way. If you notice, they're separate entity from the county government because they don't want to do anything with the county. I wonder why. Because the county, they don't want the county in their business. So Case in point, this is a short video. I'm trying to make one video every day because things are kind of moving fast here on my end, and also for Mr. Lopez. Those do not be confused. Please do not be confused in any way, shape, form, or fashion. That this is Tyler Lopez and my endeavors. This is solely something that we're doing within the law, and we're making sure we're doing it within the law by utilizing our justice system the way it was intended. Anyone else out there who is being vindictive and just wants to get back at people who's bombarding the system with freedom of information requests, doing those kinds of things, I don't approve of that. And the reason why is because I think it's chicken shit. I think it's a dumb thing. I think it's just, it's just actually, it's like this. Somebody jabbing you in the back of the head all the freaking time. Pretty soon it's about time to knock that son of a gun out. It's like, dude, because this number of freedom of information requests is not for the information that it provides. What it is to clog up the system so it moves slower. And this is an example of what we don't need to get these individuals who are actually incarcerated to get them to a trial date. You can't prepare a case if you're sitting there answering freedom of information requests all day. So in other words, they're tying county officials up from doing their damn actual job they're supposed to be doing for being able to do it. I don't agree with that. I do agree with utilizing the court system, going to individuals that have a law degree or who are actually in the system and going and presenting your case and saying, okay, this is what I got. Do I have a case? This is how I feel my rights were violated. Do I have a case? Yes or no? It's exactly what we did with the district court to file a civil lawsuit. We presented the evidence. Mr. Lopez wrote out a letter explaining to him all the difficulties he was having inside the jail, inside the courtroom. Broke it down like a shotgun. I contributed because I provided the summary from Del Sofino consultants that showed documents that he had been able to acquire. So that was part went into the district, the civil lawsuit and the approval of going to go ahead and move forward with it. Yeah, this is wrong. We're going to go move forward with it. So by saying that, what the district court is saying is that, yeah, we're going to take up this case and we're going to make sure that he's properly treated fairly, and it's going to come in a dollar amount. You violated this guy's rights on and guess what? Now you owe him And some of the things that Tyler has actually mentioned, they're going to find out more once they start doing the investigations. And this investigation, as I know, has pretty much already started. They had to assign a district. They had to hire a federal attorney, and that takes a little time because the fact is he's indigent. So they go with the next who's in line to actually stand trial or those things. They go in line. In other words, they don't jump to the back or whatever. They go in line and they see who's available to represent this case. And once they actually are on the case, then they start reviewing the case material that we sent, and then they're sending out subpoenas, and they're actually going to want to talk to these people. And they have a decision. They can either talk to the marshals, or they can refuse. If they refuse, then they could be charged for a multitude of crimes or whatever. So, in a nutshell, basically what I'm saying is that there's more than one way to skin a cat. If your rights have been violated in any way, or you think that you actually are tired of Angelina County running our government this way, then, as I've always stated, you've got to get your case outside of the county. And when you do so, if you have an attorney from outside the county, if you have entities that are outside the county in the district courts, they're going to look at exactly what we go through, and they're going to say, they can't do that. and they don't learn their lesson because they continue to do it. So we're going to step in here, and we're going to set it straight to tell you where you can't violate these certain rights. And guess what? If you do, it's going to cost you X amount of dollars. I guarantee you it'll be more than our insurance can pay. So people get mad and they'll say, well, you know what? If we wouldn't start this lawsuit, our taxes wouldn't go up, blah, blah. It's the price of being a citizen. Because the fact is, in the long run, it's going to benefit everybody who is in Angelina County. And finally, we'll be able to move on and get a more, I don't know, kind of what I'm going to say or whatever. But anyway, we weed out our corrupt officials in our government. And that needs to be done. It's needed to be done a long time ago, and everybody knows it. Everybody hates it because the fact is they grew up with so and so and so and so and so and so. I'm tired. If they cannot do their job and it's costing me money in the long run and it's putting my wife and my family's lives in danger and they're breaking rights, somebody has to call them to the mat. I'm not saying that I'm not saying I'm guilty, or I'm not saying you're guilty. What I'm saying is this deserves a second look by the court, because you're telling me you haven't done anything wrong. I believe you have. Guess what? That's why we have a court system, because the fact is, you know what? Let's go let a judge decide. A judge that's outside of Angelina County, to where his decision or her decision doesn't have anything to do with their position. Objective. And that's what we're trying to do. Anyway, thanks you guys for listening. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do more when information comes across. But I've been working on this and answering emails and blah. You can tell me, but I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's just what I've been doing or whatever. But anyway, the fact is, I'll try to keep you up to date. If you have any questions, all you have to do is respond to the YouTube, or you can hit me up at Angelina County Watchdog on Facebook. And I'm there. That's pretty much my main page or whatever. So you can I'll always answer there. I don't give up my phone number right now because it's getting too crazy. Because the fact is, I'm trying to keep my lines open for the district court to be able to call and have access to me, because I get the information from the court. I write it down on a piece of paper, and then I discuss it with Tyler and let him know what we're doing or whatever, or what he needs to do to prepare documentation, or what I need to do to call or whatever, money owed or something like that. Then this is the only way that Tyler can talk to the outside world, is he has to use a third party, because his attorney will not answer the phone. His attorney laid down in court and basically said, well, since you know so much, you go ahead and you tell the judge whatever. Dude, I don't understand why people don't get this. If you're a defense attorney in whatever freaking state, you defend your client to the best of your ability. If you do not, then you are subject to Attorney General review of your cases. Now, I'm not just talking about on this case. When the Attorney General gets involved, here's the deal. He's going to request cases 2 years back to see if there's a pattern. Now, if it is come to light by the investigators from the district court that this is a continuing problem and that this has been going on for a while, then they're going to go to Jenna Castle's office and say, we need these records right now. We're seizing these records right now. And we already know that 34 people have been in jail more than 2 years without a trial. So in other words, for you people who say, well, they committed a crime, it looks like he stole the truck or whatever. You've never seen Tyler commit a crime. Not beyond a reasonable doubt. People say, well, he did steal the truck. No, he didn't. You didn't see him in the truck. And if he was, he didn't know it was stolen. So it goes back and forth. But the fact of the matter is that, you know what? Typical Angelina County. Well, he's guilty. He may not be guilty of this, but he must be guilty of something. So we're going to go ahead and charge him. It's basically what the county has done. We can't prove he's guilty, but we're going to treat him as if he's guilty. Thank God the district court's going to come in here and set the record straight. This is the way. It's unconstitutional. You don't do this shit, and you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to treat people like this, and you're not allowed to break the law. Just because you hold a position does not give you the right to break laws and not to adhere to laws that more normal people would have to. You're not special. So, like I said, Angelina County Watchdog. I'm on Facebook. Please hit me there, or you can respond to this video. Ask questions. I mean, this is what I'm doing it for. Ask some questions. Ask him some questions, or yell at me and scream, well, we think he's guilty or whatever. But beware, for you individuals who have already made up in your mind that he's guilty of something, or he's guilty, keep in mind, you are a problem here in Angelina County, because in the rest of the United States of America, you're guilty until proven innocent. That is the reason why we have a speedy trial, to put the guilty in jail. Done. That's the reason why we have these laws about discovery, habeas corpus, getting a trial date. Those things should automatically happen. But for an inmate to have to beg to actually go to trial, come on, man. So if you think in your mind, you've done made up your mind that he's guilty, or he's guilty of something, so we should throw him in jail, I refer you to the United States Constitution, because you're innocent, and you're treated innocent until you're proven guilty. I don't make the rules, gentlemen. If you guys don't like those rules, and you guys don't like them, I suggest you talk to your congressman or whatever, because pretty much everybody that holds office right now are held accountable to supporting the Constitution, even our elected officials. Thank you, guys. See you guys on the flip-flop. Once again, hit me back.